welcome to the Decod3rs channel, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. So, guys, on Twitter Space and on YouTube Live, today it's a special stream. Again, another special stream. We have a celebrity, like maybe one of the biggest influencers on the timeline, Solana Sensei. Namaste. How are you doing, man?
Namaste, brother. Thank you so much for having me.
Man.
I don't really consider myself a celebrity, but I appreciate that.
You're like, bro, like it's quite simple. Like it's basically one of the biggest Twitter space that we are hosting on the account. So yeah, you're fucking famous, man.
It's my pleasure, brother. I mean, I don't even know why or how this happened, because I've been rejecting like every single spaces because I was busy with other stuff. So I was telling everybody like, no, I'm not going to be available. And for some reason, you're like the first person I've accepted. So I guess you manifested it.
Yes, but that's because we met in NFT Paris, and then like we spent some time together, and you can say no to me anymore, bro.
Yeah, that's the beauty of meeting people in real life.
That's honestly like NFT events, like the connection that you can get with like people you talk to on the timeline that fast. It's amazing. Like it's a game changer for sure. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, different, like completely different dynamic when you like interact with a person that you've met in real life. I was actually talking about it with Buckets yesterday because he was showing me a little bit about Sandbar, and we were just talking about life, and I also met him in New York, so we were saying the exact same thing. Like once you meet someone in real life, that connection is already like established. It's more like it's extra intimate, right? It's like it's not just like a connection on social media, but now you actually know the person behind it, and it's almost like you're more vulnerable, right? Like because as soon as you meet people in real life, it's like you're showing them your real side.
Exactly.
So definitely beautiful, and yeah, just meeting a lot of these amazing people. Also gonna meet up with Solana Legend soon because he's also here in Spain,
cool.
And we've been meeting up as well. So it definitely changes everything.
Yeah, no, 100%. But like, yeah, like, as you said, like you can also be like more vulnerable, like because of that connection that you establish in the first 10 seconds of like, like meeting someone for the first time. It can be tricky, right? Because you don't really know the person except like after a couple of tweets, but you already like feel like some like a brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever. And yeah, it can be tricky too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, yeah, like if you accepted this invitation because we met, like we share some drinks in NFT Paris, let's go, man. That's what's up. That's what we want.
No, I mean it was I don't know. It was like a coincidence, and it was also like a huge opportunity for me. I wanted to catch up with you as well, and it was just the perfect excuse, you know.
Exactly.
I also need like a push, you know. I need like a gentle push from people like you to tell me let's do a spaces, because otherwise, you know, I'm so busy with like building stuff for Namaste and meetings and everything. So I just end up forgetting about doing spaces, and I love doing them. So it just forces me to do them. So it's great.
Yeah. Oh man, that's cool. Like if you don't do a lot of spaces, but you do all of the Decod3rs ones, yeah, keep doing that, because that's gonna make us like exclusive, and that's gonna be good for the channel, man.
Of course, man, you can count with me.
Yeah, let's go. And so yeah, like what do you do for day to day, man? Like how do you like? So you're working on Namaste, but like how do you? What's the classic sensei day?
Okay, I would say there's a bunch of kind of must-dos that I kind of do every day. You know, it starts with, you know, a nice cold shower, just to, you know, kind of wake up and start, you know, start the day nice and fresh, especially now that it's warm. But in winter also, I just put the shower as cold as possible, and I just start my day like that. It gives me like a good push to start the day. Then I'll have breakfast, of course. I like to read in the morning. Right now, I'm reading a lot of books, and I'm just always reading spiritual books. I
Okay.
don't really recommend reading that much anymore. I think I prefer meditating rather than reading and gaining more knowledge. But right now, I've told all my audience before that I'm writing a book, so I really want to read
Mhm.
more books to kind of find the best ways of expressing what I've sort of grasped from life.
Mhm.
And of course, my like English is not my first language, so I feel like I'm still improving, and I'm always open to gaining knowledge in that way and kind of expanding my vocabulary as much as possible. So I'm just reading books. I like to meditate every day. I
Mhm.
like to do a lot of sport. I'll go to
Cool.
the gym.
Yes.
I eat, very healthy food. I'm sort of vegetarian slash vegan right now,
Okay.
which is kind of strange because I am Argentinian, and if I tell if I tell people in my country like, look, I'm vegetarian or vegan, they don't take it that well. It's sort of
Eh,
it's like an
I
insult almost.
I can imagine.
I mean, and especially like as a kid, I ate so much,
Mm.
beef, and every day, we would have like an asado, which is what we do in Argentina. Every week and every Sunday, we would eat, big barbecue, and I just felt like at one point I had to switch it up, and I
Mhm.
feel like karmically, like in terms of karma, it's a much wiser decision to avoid meat. Although it's not like not something that I judge. I
Yeah.
don't I don't really care if people eat meat or not, but it's
Yeah.
just a personal thing that I thought, look, let me just try it out. I watched a bunch of documentaries and stuff, and I just
Okay.
became kind of vegetarian.
Okay.
But what else? I mean, I'll work on Namaste. I'll work on. I have meetings. I talk with a lot of people.
Yes.
Obviously, I have to do tweets and content, which, believe it or not, even though I do like 3 to 5 tweets per day, it takes time. Sometimes it really takes time, and it's just doing tweets, which is crazy, and nobody's paying me for it, and it takes a lot of time. And sometimes you have zero ideas, so you literally just stare at your phone thinking like, okay, how can I improve my audience? Like, how can I improve their day? How can I make them happy? How can I help them? How can I give
Mm.
to them? These are all questions that I always like to sort of, you know,
Yeah.
um, reflect on before I tweet.
I mean, and honestly, like you have the best curated timeline ever. Like, yeah, like when I went back to your account and I didn't like so any like retweet and like shit from any project whatsoever,
Oh
and
no,
just
no.
your own tweet. Like, man, I say, okay, so yeah, this guy is different for like 100%. And honestly, it's amazing. It's what you're doing with like Twitter. It's fucking fantastic, man.
Appreciate it,
Yeah.
brother. I think yeah, I don't do retweets ever. I don't do
Mm.
quote retweets. I focus on myself, on improving the way I communicate with my audience, and I focus
Hmm.
primarily on my audience and the type of content that I'm giving, the type of energy that I'm providing to the world.
Yeah.
So I'm obviously super, super aware of things I say, how I react to certain comments, how I engage with my audience, how I, interact with all my followers because I'm truly,
Mm.
truly grateful for them. And I try to demonstrate that as much as possible. So I'll read all the comments. I'll like them to prove that, I've read it. It's just like a quick thing that I do is like I read every single comment, and then as soon as I read it, I press the like button to like kind of show them, look, I've read your comment.
Mm.
Sometimes it's questions, so I then go back to the DMs and answer privately. I just DM the person and answer their question. Sometimes, of course, I may like the question, but I'm not going to be able to answer
Mm.
just because there's so much stuff to answer,
Yeah.
and and it gets difficult because I need to also manage my time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do my best to answer all the DMs and to really connect with my audience as much as possible.
And you're doing that pretty well, man. Okay, quick question from Dulea in the YouTube live. So yeah, book title. What are you reading right now?
Ooh, right now I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita, so it's quite a it's an ancient scripture, and it's
Okay.
full of wisdom, and I've always had a deep connection with with Indians and their culture and their religion, and this is pretty much like for a lot of people in India, it's like their Bible.
Hmm.
It's sort of, and I just like to read a lot from all the different religions. I'm not religious in itself. I do not believe in anything, but I like to absorb knowledge or wisdom from every single religion there is out there, or from even sciences or mathematics. I'm open to receive knowledge or wisdom from all these different areas of life, but I do not limit myself to believe in one of
Yeah.
like in one of them. So right now I'm reading that. I'm almost halfway through. I'm loving it. It's really deep stuff,
Hmm.
and and I would definitely recommend it to anybody that's either starting their spiritual journey or wants to learn more. To be honest, just learn more about different cultures and religions.
Yeah.
Because the way I see it is like every single religion, mathematics, science, you look at quantum physics, spirituality, like at the end of the day, everything leads to the same point. Everything is guiding to the same point, the same understanding of life or God or the universe or whatever it is that you want to call it. The label is
Hmm.
truly irrelevant, but everything in life is pointing towards that same truth. And that's why I just like to read as much as I can and see all the different perspectives of people or cultures saying
Yes.
the same thing over and over again through different interpretations.
And I think, yeah, you made like the clear distinction between like religion and spirituality, right? Like that's yeah, learning from different religion and like books and like science that have been teaching since ages are like completely different from the like the social construct in a way of like the religion system, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And yeah, like, and also you mentioned like you also like writing your own book. Is that going to be a spiritual book too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very spiritual.
And
And it's gonna be like a compilation of
mm,
everything, all my experiences and
that's cool.
all the things I've grasped,
Hmm.
combined with, other books, spiritual books that I've read, and just like an overall way to express truth, to
Yeah.
express, how one can truly become one with God. How can one find themselves uh, and go beyond illusion, go beyond
Yeah.
what you think you are, and go beyond this ego that you pretend to be,
Hmm.
and truly just find yourself in this naked being, in this absolute true being that we
Yeah.
are.
Okay. Now that's fascinating, and that's why I wanted to talk to you like publicly with it. It's fascinating, man. And like, okay, so you mentioned that you want to read less book, right? But like, obviously, you learn from those books too. Like, do you think it's important like to read book to write one, or like, yeah, it's part of the package, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, as soon as you're writing a book, you have to kind of understand that you're using knowledge to express yourself. So you're going to be using
Mm.
words, concepts, ideas to express yourself, which means you're using things from the past to talk about or describe something that is here and now, something that is
Hmm.
in the present moment. So words, concepts, ideas, they're always going to help you in one way to sort of, you know, point or help people, you know, uh, understand what I'm talking about. But it's just like a signpost. I'm only pointing. You cannot take those words and understanding seriously. You cannot use
Mm.
knowledge to understand or to be this thing that you already are. You need to like leave aside all of it and discard all knowledge and understanding. So this is why I say, reading books is good, but eventually you reach a point where like,
Yeah.
okay, you need to discard it. You need to um, go beyond knowledge, beyond
Mm.
intellectual understanding, beyond ideas, concepts, words from the past.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like it's like you can break the rules only when you know the rules and you know to apply it correctly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Edima, for like the super emote donation of 2 bucks. Thank you so much, Edima. bro, like keep some money from the mint, man. I mean, it's gonna be free mint, but yeah, whatever. Thank you so much, Adiba. And like,
Love it.
yeah, do you think it's like to learn something, right? Do you think it's had more impact to you when you read it, or when do you experience it yourself?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say experience is the only way you can truly kind of understand who you are.
Okay.
Books can only guide you to a certain point, or
Mm-hmm.
even if you have a, what Indians call a guru or a master, or a sensei. But I mean, yeah, these things are only there to guide you. Eventually, you need to experience it yourself. You need to question yourself. You need to question life and reality itself.
Yeah.
And you need to go beyond illusion. Only you can do it. Like nobody else can do it for you.
Mm.
People around you, external events or factors can sort of help you because at the end, everything that is outside of you is truly inside of you. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
reflection of yourself. So life itself, the universe itself will be guiding you, will be giving you hints, will be putting people in front of you or books in front of you so that you realize yourself and you realize who you truly are. But eventually you need to do the work. You need to go deep into yourself and investigate. So I would say experience
Mm.
100%. It's the only way. Books, masters, any course or any YouTube video,
Yeah.
they will help you. They will give you some sort of insights or wisdom, but again, eventually you have to
Yeah.
discard it all and just go deep into yourself.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like it's like, yeah, again, like when you learn something, like you want to kind of learn it from like the perspective of like yeah, being on like the giant shoulders, right? Like you want to
Yeah.
get all of the knowledge at the from everyone else in the world, but then yeah, if you can experience it a small part of it, then it makes more impact in your life. That makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I mean, definitely I would recommend people who are just starting to
Mm.
begin with books, to begin with knowledge. Because the way, for me personally, what happened in my life was okay, first there was an urge to improve myself, what
Mm-hmm.
people call self-development or personal development. I felt like I was not enough. So I began to read books, to watch YouTube videos, to kind of learn. And I was super curious about life. I wanted to earn more knowledge. It felt like knowledge was the answer to everything. Like, I need
Mm-hmm.
knowledge. I need to acquire knowledge, and this will make me understand the world more. Eventually, when you begin to receive so much knowledge, you begin to absorb it, and you feel like you're gaining a lot of knowledge and learning so much. There is a tipping point in which you realize, okay, now through the experiences I've had, through the things I've witnessed in life, this knowledge is actually inhibiting me from understanding life truly, from
Mm.
understanding life the way it truly is, naturally, without any labels, words, or interpretations of the ego. And that's when you sort of realize, okay, books are now just words. Books are just, in a way, nonsense. When you're like at that spiritual and deep level, which is like a pretty much like a dimension above, you know, above this conversation, above humans, above the ego. It's beyond, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think once you're there, words just become nonsense. It's just
Yeah.
mental chatter. It's noise. It's irrelevant. There's something much, much deeper that goes beyond understanding, beyond words, and beyond concepts and ideas.
That's okay. That's fascinating. Uh, and the more you learn, the more you take, like, yeah, the more knowledge you have. I don't you have like vertigo about like everything else that you don't know that can impact what you think at the moment right now, even if you spend thousands of hours like reading and learning, like that's the big curve, right? Like the more you learn, the less you know about it, right? Yeah. Do you think about that?
Okay, wait. Repeat the question because I think I
Sorry, French
really like
accents.
this. No, I think I
So,
really like the question, but
yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to answer the right thing.
The more you learn about a topic, the more you can apprehend the fact that you know not enough to fully understand it. And when you multiply that by all of the topic in life, in spirituality, etc., that at the end of the day you are aware that you know nothing, right? And do you have like vertigos about that thought, or did you think about it? Like, yeah.
No, I mean,
Okay.
there's nothing that I'm like, okay, I need to know more about this, or I'm missing something, I'm lacking knowledge, or I'm lacking understanding. I think it is understanding and knowledge itself which makes me doubt my true understanding of life, if you know what I mean. So knowledge itself actually it sort of deceives you. It blurs truth. It makes you believe you know, makes you think you know,
Yeah.
but that thought itself, which is made up of more thoughts, is actually limiting you from truly knowing. And I do not mean when the ego knows something. I mean the knowing itself, the being itself.
Okay. Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's a state of conscience that's above like just knowing for knowing, right? It's like
Exactly.
when you love someone, right? Do you love the person for real, or do you love the feeling that you know the person loves you back, right?
Exactly. That's
I like it.
yeah, because I mean that's an interesting topic, right? Like when people say I love you,
Yes.
what you truly love is a reflection of yourself.
Exactly.
What you're saying I love you to your own self.
Yes.
And that self is just reflected through what seems to be another ego, through what seems to be another person. But deep down, you know,
Yeah.
everything is the same. Everything is one. So the person in front of you, the person that you love, even your friends, your family, they are all just a reflection of your true self, which is beyond this character, beyond this
Yeah.
avatar, this ego that you walk around with, beyond this body and mind.
Okay, so that's okay. I want to continue this conversation, but I saw Lexi on Twitter Space that fighting to get on stage because the connection was not working. Like, right, Twitter Spaces. And hi to Roland on YouTube. Like, thank you so much for coming up, brother. So yeah, Lexi, do you have a question for Sensei? Hello, Lexi.
I can hear it. I can hear her on Spaces.
Okay. Let me reconnect it. Sorry. Shit. Attack. Disconnect. Reconnect. Sorry about that. Lexia, can you talk? I think it should work.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Am I audible? Oh, thank God. That was a journey. It was so difficult to come up here.
Yeah, I saw you. That's why I want to take your question.
Right. Oh, I thought that I was really interested in the discussion you guys were having, right? About when you know that you understand something, but then the more you understand, the more complicated it gets, right? But then you again mentioned that true knowing comes from experience. There was this framework that I read a while back, which differentiated education from learning. So, education would mean that you've read about something, that you have it in your mind map. But learning would mean that you've practically faced it, that you know every single point that will be in the journey to that education, that the thing that education got for you. That was just when I found that out for myself, that it is a true thing, that the more I know, the lesser I get to know in real. It was just mind blowing. Yeah. I actually had a question for Sensei. Do you think so? Does the mind really create thoughts, or is it just barrier kind of a thing, where we actually can have access to unlimited thoughts, but our brains and our minds actually stop it for us, so that we're not bombarded with too much all at once, and we have enough time to consciously live through every single thing. Does that make sense?
That's cool. Okay, Sensei, enjoy the answer.
Love that question, actually. Let's see. I mean, thoughts, right? Whether the mind creates thoughts or whether thoughts are mind, it's all just semantics, right? I would say when one goes beyond thoughts, when one is able to, maybe through meditation, let's say, you go into a state of no thought, this question would become a bunch of thoughts, right? Like seen from that perspective of no thought, observing a thought would be like noise. It would be the same, it would be equally as relevant as, I don't know, a pencil right next to you. It's all just a bunch of randomness. It's so illusory. Thoughts themselves are part of the illusion. Objects or things that you perceive that seem to be outside of you are just a mere collection of thoughts from the past. The way that we believe we see the world, the way that we believe we perceive the world is all dependent on the past and things that you have accumulated in the past that have been implanted in your mind. And you have simply been limited to seeing life that way, interpreting life that way, describing it that way. And meanwhile, interacting with what seems to be other beings or what seems to be other humans, you're just interacting based on the past, based on all this understanding and accumulation of thoughts that are all illusory. So I would say, whether the mind creates thoughts or whether thoughts create mind, it's really hard to reply, or it's hard to answer the question using thoughts. Because as soon as I speak, I am using thoughts. And, who is emitting these thoughts or who is saying the things I say? Who am I? Eventually, when you go deep to that question, who am I? Then this entire conversation becomes meaningless and irrelevant. We're just speaking out randomness. And we are, as egos, interpreting it as if it's something concrete, as if it's truly meaningful. But of course, meaning is subjective and completely dependent on the past. So whatever we're saying right now is just nonsense. And I can say that thoughts are created. I can say that thoughts are created prior to the mind, or that the mind creates them, or that thoughts are mind, but it's all just nonsense, right?
Yes.
As soon as I attempt to reply a question made up of thoughts through thoughts, then whatever comes out of that is going to be nonsense.
Yeah. Okay. Lexi, did he answer your question?
Yeah, kind of, yes.
Yeah.
We're on the same page here, actually.
That's cool.
Like, yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. And Sensei, like some people are like clearly talking more nonsense than you, brother. So yeah, we're good. Okay. So Lexi, do you have something else?
Actually, I had a thought that if I could share it with you.
Yeah, sure.
So when we talk about Buddha and how he achieved enlightenment, there is this one theory, right? What is enlightenment? How did he achieve that level of knowing everything in a subjective manner? So there's this theory that he was able to subatomically get into every single moment of the past that Sensei just mentioned. Okay. That all our thoughts are made up of every single moment in the past, and since eons and eons, since every single thing stores data in it. And he was able to access every dot of it he was able to access all the data that was stored in the past in his own body, the cells that made it up, right? And that's just one theory, and that could connect to how Sensei said that all our thoughts are basically every single moment in the past, and that is how we know what we know in the present. Buddha was just able to go through every single one of them.
Yeah, that's a full-time job. That's a lot.
Love that, Lexi. I think it's a nice theory. It's still a theory, so whether you want to believe in it or not is up to each and everyone's ego, of course. But I mean, I think it goes even beyond that. We all have access to infinite wisdom. We all have infinite energy within us. We are that energy. We are that wisdom. We are Buddha. We are God. We are the universe. So we are enlightened prior to our understanding of enlightenment. And this is something that, that becomes a little bit confusing for some people, right? This idea that one can achieve enlightenment, something that is this idea that it's truly something one can achieve, as if it's out there, as if it's not yourself right here, right now, as if it's a possibility in the future, when in reality, right here, right now, you are that already, prior to your understanding, prior to whatever your thoughts may tell you. The moment that you discard all of that, you are that already. And there's only your ability, the ego's ability of realizing what it is, or to even, it's sort of consciousness experiencing consciousness experiencing itself. This is what people call enlightenment in a way. It's just consciousness realizing its own consciousness. And it's like infinity realizing it is infinity, and not even realizing it, because it is already it prior to the realization. So this is where words become, an obstacle. But yes, we are one with everything. We are one with God. Everyone and everything is God. Not your ego. Your ego is not God. You as a human being, you're not limited to God. You're not just God. But everything and nothing simultaneously occurring in this present moment is God, is a manifestation of this ultimate supreme God.
Yeah, like the identity, entity that people call God, etc. Like
the universe or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we have like Seren and Shiftex was first. Yeah, and Seren, I'm coming to you after that. Yeah, Shiftex.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, working perfectly. Yes. How are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Living the life and listening to Sensei. I love my day, man.
Yeah, it's good having Sensei. Yeah, yes. Thank you, Sensei, for all the nice answers and questions. Nice one from Lexi right there too. All right, we're talking about positivity and meditation. I actually have a question for Sensei on meditation. Now, I know meditation is a brain training mechanism for you to train your concentration, right? So I want to know, so many persons have like misconceptions on meditation. So I want to know the exact way it is for you to meditate. And also, does your daily activities, if you wake up in the morning, your daily activities, does it affect your meditation? Because if you do a lot during the day, can you concentrate if you want to meditate? So that's one of the questions I have for Sensei.
Okay. It's a great question. Thank you. I would say you're kind of talking about two slightly different things. One of them is concentration, which I would not really consider as meditation. Concentration may be focusing in one thought at a time, or focusing all your energy into one object or one part of your senses, or it would be considered more like mindfulness, right? And with mindfulness, you may be focused in your breath when you inhale and you exhale, and you're completely focusing your mind and controlling your mind in a way, or concentrating it in one point. Maybe your breath, it may be whatever it is. There's different types of mindfulness practices. But then you have meditation. And in my life, meditation would be a continuous process in a way. It's being aware of the present moment throughout your activities as an ego, throughout this illusion of life, being completely aware and seeing with clarity, and observing thoughts and witnessing the totality of life without getting driven by it, without getting lost in it, without letting the illusion grab your ego and bring you back to this mundane world in which I am a body and a mind, and I have responsibilities, and I have this and that. So I think
Okay.
you can meditate in a way in which you're in a lotus position, and you are meditating or doing the action of meditation, but you may enter a state of no thought. But then eventually, if you come back, and this meditation only serves as a way of escaping the illusion and going back to your essence temporarily, just to go back and live in illusion again, then, well, this doesn't truly help you in your evolution or in your spiritual journey. This is simply a way of going back to your essence, remaining in a thought of no state, in a state of no thought. And then you go back and you begin living your life again as an ignorant ego that is not aware of life. So this is why I say that proper meditation must be maintained throughout your life, throughout each present moment. Aware of the fact that time is truly illusory, right? Time is truly an illusion that only the egos, such as human beings, can experience, or other beings. But when you're capable of maintaining this meditation throughout your life, throughout every present moment, here and right here and now, and right here and now, and now, that is true meditation. Maintaining this throughout your entire life, being completely aware throughout your life, and seeing with absolute clarity who you are and what this is.
Wait, you're meditating, like you are in the state of meditation 24. I don't know if you sleep while you meditate or you meditate while you sleep, but you're 24/7 on the state of meditation. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that is what would be considered true meditation. Now,
Okay. Not you as right now, but that's what you want to go to, right?
Yeah, I mean, the ego gets driven away, it gets pushed around.
Okay.
It may have activities, and may do this and that. It may, I don't know, exercise. It may read a book.
Okay.
But it is just a character playing. So as long as you remain, in the backseat, kind of observing the totality of life, observing, even witnessing your own ego take action and move around and say things or think.
Okay.
As long as you remain in that as the witness, then you will not be bothered by anything that appears or disappears in the TV screen of life and this illusion that you're playing around with.
Okay.
So that's ultimately meditation.
Okay. With text, do you have like a follow-up for that? And then I'll go to Siri.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused because I don't engage in meditation before, although I want to start now, like little by little steps. But I want to know, does meditation have like a positive, and also I know that mostly people combine meditation with positivity, something like that. Like it makes you free of this world, like what Sensei was saying. So I want to know, is there a negative aspect to meditation? is there like a negative effect to it? If you do it constantly, is there a negative effect to meditation?
No, of course there's no risks of, as long as you're doing real meditation, as long as you're actually meditating, then you're going beyond positive and negative. So there can't be anything good or bad, because you're going beyond duality. You're entering a state of non-duality. You're going beyond ego, beyond good or bad, beyond light and darkness. You're going beyond beyond the entire mental construction in which we're living in, beyond the ego, beyond all the mental noise. So there is nothing negative or positive. It's just about clarity. It's about liberating yourself from positive and negative, going beyond this, right? Right now, you're living in this world in which there is good and bad, there is positive and negative, there is light and darkness, there is desires and there is pleasant things and unpleasant. There are risks, and you enter the state in which there is always one thing or another. It's black and white. But meditation, true meditation, will allow you to transcend that dimension of duality and truly go deep into your being, which is infinite and beyond understanding, beyond intellectual understanding.
Okay.
So of course there is no good or bad there.
Okay. Thank you very much. Also, finally, I want to know: are there like books? Like, are there books that can help somebody? If someone wants to get more knowledge on meditation and whatever it entails, are there books?
For a person that is just starting, you need to firstly kind of learn how to tame the mind. You cannot just say, okay, I'm going to meditate right now, because your thoughts are going to be all over the place. You have never actually observed introspectively your own mind, so it's going to be a mess. There's going to be a lot of noise. There's going to be thoughts appearing and disappearing. Then you're going to drift away, and then you're going to judge yourself, and you're going to be like, oh no, I shouldn't be thinking this. Then you're going to say, oh, this is it. Then, oh, I found it. This is peace. And then you're going to be like, oh no, this is not it. Oh, this is better. And then your mind is going to be all over the place. So firstly, you need to, again, learn how to tame the mind. So you may start with something like mindfulness and really observing how your mind is able to focus in one thing at a time. Just start by, I think the breath is the easiest and the most common way of just meditating, because you can literally do it anywhere. You could go into your work, you could go even in the car. Well, not while driving, I do not recommend that, but but anywhere that you are, you can literally just pause for a second and just watch how you inhale and exhale, and just focus completely on that without caring about anything else, just being present and observing your breath as you inhale and you exhale. And as soon as you begin to get better and better at that, you may begin to get, I don't know, maybe you can even use guided meditations. You can start with that. You can have someone who's guiding you and kind of letting you know how to enter into this deep state of consciousness. And then eventually, you may even go further into just maybe just putting some alpha waves or beta waves, or just some sort of, there's like a shit ton of videos in YouTube that you can use that will, they have like special frequencies that will help you get in trance and kind of meditate without any guided meditation, without any person telling you anything. You can do it, in your room, sitting down, or anywhere really. And then as you begin to get better and better, I think time is a good measurement for meditation. If you're able to just remain there 5 minutes, that's a good start. Then you can go up to 15 minutes. 15 minutes feels too much, then focus on 15 minutes until time dissolves completely. Then you may go for half an hour. And eventually you may even be meditating an entire day and you're not even aware of time. You know,
It's a journey.
sometimes everything just blacks out and you come out of it after 8 hours.
Okay.
And
yeah.
And there's just nothing, you know, it's like you're suddenly back in the dream. It's like, okay, I'm fully aware of the fact that my ego is back in this world. It's back in this illusion. And really meditation is your home. It's where you're supposed to be. It's your true reality in a way. Like right now we're living in, it's pretty much hell in comparison. It's filled with thoughts, it's filled with ego, uncertainty. You're not fully aware. There's noise everywhere. You get distracted. You're always distracted by your senses, whatever you see, whatever you smell, whatever people tell you, your mind, your thoughts, everything simultaneously is just so much noise, so much mental chatter. And meditation is truly going back home. It's silencing the mind, silencing every thought, and by doing so, kind of making the entire mental construction collapse instantly by being in this thought of no state.
And it's hard. Like to pause for a second, that's hard. So yeah, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. Good luck with that, SwiftX. Seridan, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good, thanks, brother. How are you?
All good. Like, yeah, just taking a break with Sensei here and talking about what we're talking. I love it, man.
Good stuff, man. You're a beast. Good to talk to you. Yeah, keep it up. Keep up the good fight, my man.
Yes, that's what we do here. So, do you have a question for Sensei?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I've got a couple actually. Namaste, Sensei. A bit following away here. First time I've heard you speak, I've always been an admirer, of course, as you know, and through just your text on Twitter and that. But anyway, my first thank you, and also thank you for the wisdom you're dropping about meditation. That's a big help. The one that really got me was the 24/7 meditation is the ultimate, which I'm going to really take on board. That 24/7 dissolving of the ego is big bars, everyone. So first question, and I hope you don't mind me taking it off on this direction, Sensei. I'm just going to say, what's your interpretation of what's your take on the Big Bang, and especially pre-Big Bang?
Okay. I mean, what can I say? I don't know. It's just another way of interpreting life, right? Christians have their own way of explaining how everything is, how everything was created, how we came about. Science has its own way of doing it. Mathematics even has its own way of doing it. Each religion and each kind of belief system has a way of interpreting what is going on, pretty much. How we came about, how Earth was created, how life was created. And the Big Bang is just another way of interpreting it, you know? Whether it's true or not is up to each, and you know, it's up to every ego. But again, I think it's kind of connected to what I said before. I don't limit myself to believing in any theory or interpretation about how life comes about, because whatever I believe in is irrelevant to truth, and truth comes prior to this understanding, comes prior to this interpretation or to this belief. Beliefs at the end of the day are just more thoughts from the past. So what do I think about it? I do not really think about it, to be honest. I think that would be the question. I'm not concerned about the past. I'm not concerned about how we came about in the past. I only know that there is here and now, and that is everything there is. So whatever happened in the past, whatever will happen tomorrow, you know, whether a meteorite comes and kills every single human being, to me, it is irrelevant. I am here and now, and that is everything there is.
And that's hard also to living in the present. I have a hard time doing that. 100%.
I would say it's hard to not be in the present. You cannot not be in the present. The thing is, your ego will be conscious or unconscious about this present moment. It may have an idea of time. It may be constantly manifesting the concept of time, but that does not mean that you're not present. It just means that you have a layer of ignorance, a layer of time, a creation that is blurring what you truly are in the now. But it's just a layer. You're always, prior to that layer that you made, that you created, that you manifested, you're always that. You're already it. You're already the present moment. You're already present. You are already the now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You're here because you're an aspect, you're a manifestation of the totality of life. So you are already present.
Yeah. Okay.
The only thing that happens is that your mind or your ego, your body, it may not be fully aware of its own presence, but you're always present. Regardless of whether you are aware of it or not, you are already present. Your ego may be conscious of it or unconscious of it, but it's irrelevant because you're not the ego.
Wow.
Thank you, brother. Hey, I bet that changes my second question. But, thank you, Sensei. I really, that was awesome. So I'll change my second question to: is that what you mean when, like, say, you look at another person and especially your family member, and you realize that it's you? And even a normal person, it could be, you just look at them and you go, oh, that you're just me. But when I see a family member, I'm like, and they're talking to me, it could be my dad, I'm like, oh, I am the dad, he's the dad, and on so probably more like ancestors. No, I didn't answer that. I didn't ask that properly. But yeah, you're smart enough, though. you won't probably have an answer.
No. I'm smiling because I've already I had some people talking about that, being like the sum of your ancestors and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm connecting with that, with what you're saying.
Wait. So, what is the question?
Yeah, sorry that.
So, like, one true self is where I was heading with that. But the question is, like, when I look at one of my family members and I'm interacting with them and I realize that it's actually just me.
Yes.
Talking to myself.
Oh.
In a place I created, and I'm standing on myself. And is that what you meant? Just well, with everything you talk, actually.
So, I mean, yeah, every time you interact with a human being, with everything around you, whether they are objects or people or living beings or even plants and trees, you are ultimately interacting with yourself. The ability to interact with others, you are the person you are interacting with, and you are the object or the body that's capable of interacting, while simultaneously you're the entire conscious witnessing itself interacting through an illusory ego. So you're pretty much everything at once. Right here, right now, we are all just interacting with each other, engaging with each other in a way that creates division. There is division right now, but simultaneously there is oneness. There is ego, and simultaneously there is awareness. And one may ask, like, okay, so what's the point of everything? And and the beauty of it is that there is no point. It is pointless. The only sort of goal or thing you should aspire for is to understand who you are truly, beyond ego. Everything else, whatever your ego wants to do, whatever it aspires for, whatever the goals are, whatever it needs or desires in life, is truly irrelevant. It's just a layer of ignorance. It's just noise. And although you can play with it, you will notice that when you get trapped in this game, when you get driven by your ego, suddenly you lose clarity, you lose awareness, and you begin to do everything for your own selfish needs. You begin to get obsessed with certain things. You begin to search for more, and you're always searching for more, and you're always looking for the next thing. You're living in the past and in the future all at once, but you're not fully present. You're not aware of who you are. And family serves as a great way of awakening. Family is actually there to help you awaken, to help you realize who you are. Because, you know, if you observe carefully, if you're present with them, you will see that yourself is reflected in them. And the division between others and you, the division between me and them, dissolves completely until you become one with these people, whether they're family, friends, or even you guys right now as I speak with you. I am capable of seeing division and simultaneously understanding that we're all one. And by understanding both sides of it and simultaneously none of those sides, by understanding division and awareness and none of it and all of it, there is a new level of consciousness that's even more aware of itself, because it allows both extremes to exist. It allows both extremes to exist, and simultaneously none of it, and simultaneously both of them, because they are interdependent. And black needs white in order to be black, and white needs black in order to be white. So it's this sort of yin and yang that's going on right here, right
100%.
now.
Yeah, good and bad, positive, negative, God, evil. Exactly. You got to have all of it, both sides, to have anything. Otherwise, we'd just have nothing. There wouldn't be anything. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Sensei. Thanks for having me up, Vince. Cool. That was awesome, brothers. I'm going to step down. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Much
Okay.
love, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, great answer, man. Okay, so we will take like Anmar as the last Twitter speakers. So yeah, Anmar, how are you doing? Do you have a question for Sensei?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I have a question for Sensei.
Yes.
And one for you, if that's okay, a small one.
Yes.
So, Sensei, do you think that you can replace meditations with sports? Because I feel I can do it when I have no distractions like girls in the gym or whatever. And if you do the breathing correctly, especially in the pauses, I feel like I reach the same state of mind, if you can say so.
Definitely.
Do you witness similar experience, or what are your thoughts on this?
Any meditation is not bounded by the action of meditating. That is to say, sitting down in a lotus position or laying down in your sofa or your bed. Meditation is not bounded to that to the action of meditating, because this is something that confuses a lot of people. You see, when you're doing sport, for example, as you said, you may be in a state of full presence, and you may be completely aware of who you are in that moment while performing any action. That is meditation itself. Even while you're at your job, you know, if you're fully aware, fully present, as you go through a balance sheet, as you go through any financial statement, or performing any sort of tasks that you have to do for your job, as long as you're capable of seeing with clarity and being fully present with whatever you're doing and performing the action itself without seeking validation, without being worried about the outcome, and you're fully present in the action, that is meditation itself. And you're really capable of doing it anywhere. I'll give you an example. Like I know that, for example, my mom, when she goes running, because she runs a lot, she loves running. Every day she goes running. It's like her meditation. And she literally tells me, like, when I'm running, I am not there. There is no body running. I am simply fully present in the action of running itself, the witnessing of what is going on in that present moment. And so, are you really performing any sport? Well, not really. You only perform a sport when you label it as a sport. When you say, oh, I am doing sport, I am exercising. You need the past to label it as a sport. But when you're fully in the present, there is no labels, there is no thoughts, there is no interpretation of it. So you're just being. And this beingness, this meditation, can be done through anything that you perform throughout your life. So this is what I mean by being in a meditation state 24/7. You are in anything that you do, you're able to meditate. Even by clicking your mouse in your laptop, you can be fully aware the moment that you do that.
It's finding peace, right? Basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Amal, do you have the other question? Did Sensei answer your question too?
Yeah, kind of. He answered my question. Some people who think they know meditation and yoga is the only way to do it. Yeah, I got confused a little bit, but I don't. I feel the same way like Sensei's mom. It's you can do sports and meditate and get clarity in your head. And just a last question for you, my man. You look very sharp, bro. Are you into fitness?
Get out. Get out.
Okay.
I love it.
Yes, I meditate when I do boxing. That's what's happening. And okay, and also, by the way, thank you, Orestes, to joining the YouTube fan of the Decod3rs channel. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you, and really appreciate the early support of what we are doing here. It's so cool. And yeah, like Sensei, we are like already after the hour, so yeah, like looks like this conversation will last a little bit longer than 1 hour, which is great. I love it, man. Bro, you need to come.
Super down for it. Count with me.
You're not okay. So first, you need to come back on the channel because like we need to talk more about everything. And I would also join you to the space. You're still doing them, right?
My spaces?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will try to do them as much as I can. But again, it's what I told you before. If I have people around me pushing me to do them and kind of forcing me, like you did today, it helps me even more.
Okay.
I'll definitely come back.
Okay. Good. So everyone here, if you want a second episode on this channel or even like on the Sensei Spaces, please DM him. We need it's a group effort. Like everyone here, if you want an episode 2 or if you want his own Twitter Spaces, please DM him. We want, bro, like we will let you know that we want more of you talking about everything. Because like the question were like as broad as the universe, and you answer them, all of them. So perfect. Don't change a thing, man.
Never. It's too late to change.
Thanks. I mean, you're always changing, right? Evolving.
Exactly. But
yes,
at the same time, it's changeless change. You know what I mean? Constant. Let me elaborate. The continuous change that goes on in the universe is changeless itself.
Yes.
If you know what I mean. So it is, again, it's black and white simultaneously. It's like we're changing and simultaneously we remain the same.
Okay.
Things appear and disappear, but there is something that remains always there.
Okay. Yes, basically your whole life and your whole way to see life and perceive life, it's basically like a quantum cat, right? It's like the Schrödinger cat. Like for you, all of that is like at the same time black and white, good and evil, etc. Right? That's the principle where you perceive life, right?
It's hard to say. It's not just black and white because sort of like this is a playground. We have the opportunity, we have the blessing to play around with an illusory ego. And it's not good or bad. It's not like the ego is the enemy. It's not like there is something better out there and and this is bad, but it's more like, being aware of all possibilities simultaneously, right? And being able to appreciate each possibility, whether you're aware or fully aware, or whether you're temporarily ignorant, right? Like, ignorance itself is beautiful because it allows you to forget yourself only so that you can remember yourself. And this is also part of the change in the universe that is going on. We continually forget ourselves to remind ourselves of who we are. And this forgetfulness and reminding keeps us in this beautiful cycle that is interdependent and is needed, right? There cannot be just fully awareness. There cannot be just fully perfection in this present moment. Although simultaneously it is there.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, for that full perfection to exist, there has to be imperfection in it. Because imperfection is perfection as well. So ignorance, awareness, they're both interdependent as well. They're fully needed, both of them and none of them. And it's just part of this bigger perfection of life.
Yeah, like
the universe.
Exactly. Okay, so you said like that. Yeah, it's also like there is like a beauty in the ignorance, right? But okay, so if you are not aware of like what you know right now and what you are aware of, like, do you think like people can find ever like by not being aware of it, like find happiness more easily than going through the journey via spirituality, etc., but then being aware of what you could miss, so then you don't really reach the same point of like happiness or like fulfillment, because you are not aware of what you are missing. And if you were not starting this journey, you will not, so you don't miss what you don't know you're missing, right? So how do you perceive that?
That's a great one. Well, for your ego, obviously being ignorant will have it will lead to a lot of suffering in many ways, because everything that you do is done in an unconscious manner, in which you're always trying to find yourself in other things. You're always searching for more. There's always, the next thing. And really what you're looking for, whether you're aware of it or not, whether you have realized it or not, you're always trying to look for yourself. You're always trying to find who you are. You do this by searching for money. You do this by searching for recognition, fame, whatever it is that you desire. You're always searching for your own self. But you do this in an unconscious manner, which means that your ego searches. But since you are not the ego, eventually, when you suffer enough, you realize the suffering, and you find this new possibility of realizing who you are in the present moment, because you stop living in the past, you stop living in the future, and suddenly this possibility of light coming through you appears. And yeah, I would say that, the only difference between a fully enlightened being and an ignorant being is that one sees with clarity, one is fully aware of their essence, and the other one is lost, and it is constantly searching for more. It seeks happiness, and it tries to seek happiness, and it avoids all suffering. But an enlightened being would accept both, and it would be able to hug happiness and hug suffering and understand their interdependence and their beauty and their perfection. So it wouldn't actually seek happiness or avoid suffering. It would be at peace with everything, with the totality of life, with both the good and the bad. So that is, in a way, one of the difference. So you may be, as an ignorant being, you would probably suffer by not achieving something, or you would always feel like you're lacking. You would always feel unfulfilled.
Yes, okay.
you would always be searching for more, and you would avoid any sort of risk, any sort of suffering, any sort of pain. You would not tolerate it, and you would see it as a negative thing. Any sort of negative emotion, you would try to reject it. You would say, I do not want to be angry, this is bad. I do not want to be jealous, this is bad. I do not want to be sad, this is bad. And there would be this duality between good and bad. But an enlightened being would be able to accept both and simultaneously none. So it would go beyond negative and positive. It would go beyond happiness and misery.
Okay, so living in the illusion can be comfortable until you feel this non-fulfillment, and then you start your journey with spirituality, and then you accept like what you are living in the moment, and that everything can be anything. That am I summarizing?
Yes,
let's
in
go.
a way.
Yeah, I know there is way more nuances than that. Maybe we need this 10-hour stream, and that's for sure. And like people who are gonna watch it, like they're gonna enjoy the views.
and we probably need a translator as well.
Yeah. But I mean, it's also interesting because I feel that the way you express your idea and concept can speak to people, and then they can receive it the way they want, or like they're gonna match what they're gonna have as a prism on their own life, right? So it's kind of interesting. Like they take what you say and then make it their own. So it's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of people resonate with what I'm saying.
Yes.
Because, first of all, we're all one.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, everything that I've said has happened to you or is happening to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that it's true. Like, you know that it applies to your life. Mm-hmm. Some of you may be aware of it, and some of you may even want to say, no, I disagree. This is not true. And will try to do anything to reject it. Yeah. And if that happens to you, if that's the case for you, try to notice how your ego is going to do anything possible to reject truth, because it wants to be ignorant. It wants to feed off more thoughts. It wants to feed off more illusion. It enjoys, it is comfortable in illusion. It is comfortable in suffering. It loves it. It's pretty much the fuel. The ego's fuel is more illusion. So we create more illusion to remain in illusion. I mean, for egos.
Yes. Okay. So it's a tricky journey, man.
Definitely. And again, I do not want anybody to think, I don't want people to believe me.
Yeah.
I don't want people to.
Yes. It's your perceptions on things.
Yeah. It's like, if you believe me, if you believe in anything I say, then what you're going to be doing is simply, doing the same thing that we have done over and over again by believing in religions, by believing in science, by believing in whatever it is that you believe, which is cool. It will help you eventually, but then you need to discard all belief systems. You cannot rely on the past. You cannot rely on words or knowledge or concepts. And of course, as I speak, I am using words. I am using ideas to kind of express and kind of point to truth, but you cannot believe me, because that will simply just imprison you in another belief. It will imprison you again in religion or whatever it is that you believe in. And, when you take a belief system so seriously that you forget what it is pointing towards, then the belief itself is like a limitation.
Yeah.
The religion or whatever it is that you believe becomes a limitation. So investigate for yourself, question yourself, but do not believe me.
And do you put like science at the same level of spirituality? Because, okay, so the way I see it is like, if science is based on experimentation and basically mathematics, right? It's like you try something, you prove it, that works like 100% of the time, and then you establish a fact, right? But spirituality is more about like you feel something, you think about something, and someone else can feel something else and like come to the same conclusion, or take the same like feeling and experience and come to another conclusion. But both are still valuable because they are based on experience of two human beings and feeling and like conclusion and thought, right? Thought process. So yeah, do you put like these states of like everything can be multiple things at the same time in both science and spirituality, or you're just talking about spirituality?
I may be talking about, I may be using more spiritual terms, maybe,
Okay.
but at the end of the day, like the way I communicate is truly irrelevant. Like I can use science to describe the same thing. You look at quantum physics nowadays, and the understanding
yes.
of what they're trying to interpret is truly the same as what Buddhist people, for example, have been saying for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So it all meets in the same point. It's really just different interpretations, different paths of different human beings or different communities or different belief systems that eventually, when they reach, this, eventually you reach this point where like, okay, if I do not discard my thoughts and my ideas or my belief system, then I cannot go forward. I cannot go on. So once you reach that place, you will see that through spirituality, through religion, through mathematics, science, all these different paths lead to the same end. But once you reach that end, in every religion, science, or whatever it is that you believe in, they all kind of realize, okay, the only way to go forward is to discard, to leave behind this layer of ignorance, this layer of interpretation of thoughts and concepts and ideas. And the only way to truly grasp it is by leaving aside all these thoughts and concepts and just being present, just being that, rather than trying to explain it, rather than trying to describe it. You just become it.
Yeah. It's like the end goal, like you win the game when you find like peace with yourself and what's around you. Like that's the ultimate goal of your spirituality, right?
I would say it's the ultimate goal for every single human being, and the ultimate goal of every living being or non-living being. It's kind of what the universe has for us. It's God's plan in a way.
That makes sense. And man, like like the most depressive like video I ever watched on YouTube was like a zoom of like so basically it's a zoom on Earth, like, and it's to show you like the distance in the universe and like the place of the Earth in the universe. And it starts with like a woman like in Washington and smiling. So she's looking at you. Then you zoom. So you see Washington, then the US, then the world, then the whole like solar system, and then the universe, and then like it imagine like the multiverse, whatever. And by watching this video, it's like I was thinking like, bro, like I do not matter at all. And that shit took me in dark place for like a couple of weeks. and like the only solution I find like to get out of that was like to accept it and say, okay, so yeah, I don't matter, because you add space, but when you add time to that scale, right? Like you can do what the fuck you want in your life 50 years after your death. Like it's like you never existed anywhere, right? Because everyone that you know is dead. Everything that you have accomplished is probably like destroyed or like not existent anymore. So sorry, but like after a couple of times, then it's like nothing really matters at the scale of time and universe, right? So the only thing that you can do about that is what you said, right? Accept that status and try to enjoy your life to the fullest, to be fully happy. That's my conclusion to that video.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Acceptance is huge. Just being able to, it's not really a bad thing that you're just you're pretty much a piece of a star. You're like you're dust,
Mm.
and you're pretty much in a way insignificant. It's not a bad thing, right? Because
Yeah.
it's actually quite liberating, because it means that, okay, you are nothing, but simultaneously you're the entire universe.
Mm.
So your ego is insignificant, but since you're not the ego and you're the totality of life, and being able to experience life through an ego is a blessing,
Yeah.
because you get this ability to live in time and space in this dimension that we created, that we manifest, and you get to do whatever you want in this illusory game. You are playing in an illusion, aware of the fact that it's an illusion, and aware of the fact that you can die tomorrow, and it does not matter because you are not the body or the mind.
Yeah.
You were never born and you will never die. And this is the beauty of it. Like, we're just living an illusory life. We're just playing around and having fun with an ego that is completely illusory. And you may take it seriously temporarily, but then when death comes to that ego,
Mm-hmm.
you realize once again, okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. I can let go. I can surrender. I was never this character. I was never this avatar.
Okay.
And this is also the importance of detachment and remaining, kind of liberated from the weight of the ego, not having to take the ego so seriously, not relying on the ego so much, and being able to see, the playfulness of life, being able to see the illusion of life and the game of life, and just playing with it consciously. That's the one of the most beautiful gifts we have given to ourselves, because we created the possibility to experience ourselves through an ego, and we are the ego itself, and we are the universe itself. So
Yeah. But
it's just a gift of life.
But who are you for real then?
You see, that's literally the ultimate question in life. That is the question that everyone needs to investigate, and that truly has no answer, because as soon as you answer it, it is not true. That is not who you are.
Yes. Okay.
So
yeah.
The question that you've done is actually, pretty much the biggest question in all of philosophy and religion and science and everything. It is the question of life. It is the question that every single human being, every ego needs to investigate that question, needs to meditate on it without seeking an answer, without using the past to describe it or interpret it, but truly to meditate and investigate your own being and who you are. That is, like, what you've said is probably the wisest thing one human being can say. Who am I? Who am I is the ultimate question. Anything else is noise. Meditate on that question, and then all other questions will become irrelevant, and you will never question anything else in life.
Okay, so we need to all meditate and then come back for an episode 2. Man, that's fantastic. I love those conversations. It's so cool. I love it. Please come back. I will join your space 100%.
For sure, brother.
100%.
It's been a pleasure, and I think, as an ego, whatever Sensei can do for the world in this illusion, like the most impactful or meaningful thing that my ego can do within the meaningfulness, within the meaningless life and the illusory life that we are in, the most meaningful thing I can do is just allow other beings to awaken, allow other beings to find who they are, and to simply spread this energy, this understanding, this, some people who call it wisdom, whatever it is that you want to call it, but allowing other aspects of my own being to understand themselves, to find out who they are. This is the most meaningful thing and purposeful thing I can do in this life. There's literally nothing else.
And yeah, like honestly, like I can perceive that from you, and for what you're doing, like even at the scale of crypto Twitter, I love that journey for you, and that looks like make you you reach peace with that journey, and you are like completely aligned with it. It's beautiful, man.
I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah. And okay, so I have another question that comes to my mind right now, and I need to ask you. Okay, so because spirituality is like deeply personal, right? The fact that you share your experiences and people are listening to you, and like maybe because you have a figure, you are a figure of authority in like the spirituality world, like at least on crypto Twitter, etc. Like, do you think like again, people need to can listen to you, but like build their own spirituality path, because by having your own perception, it's not going to like pollute, but like guide them in a journey that not matching them 100%, and they need to take more information from other sources, people, etc., to really build their own journey. Like, yeah, how does that work? Because yeah, again, you not preaching, like you're sharing your experiences, they're making their own, but maybe if in another like path, when they didn't listen to you or come to this space, they will build another journey. Okay, that's a big question again. Did you get what I tried to say? Like it's tricky.
I think I understood. Okay, so yeah, so every single being, I think, as soon as you listen to me, the fact that you're here listening to this is not a coincidence.
Okay.
It means that some part of yourself, to every single listener, right? To every single person that is here right now, if you are listening to this, it means that an aspect of your being is ready to realize itself. It is almost hungry to find out who it really is. It is hungry to meet itself again and to let go of the ego, to discard the ego and leave this kind of in behind.
Okay.
And it is not a coincidence. So the same way that I had a guru and that I had to investigate through my own experiences, that I had to meditate and learn how to meditate from zero and read all these spiritual books. I think, we all have our own journeys, and every single human being should have the intention, at least, to do so. Should have the intention to find out and realize who they are, because there is literally nothing more important in this illusion. If you're a person that is lost in it, then being a participant of the illusion by creating more illusion and by seeking things that are only possible in the illusion will only imprison you further. So there is nothing more important than realizing, if you're part of an illusion, if you are imprisoned by illusion, there is nothing more meaningful than realizing that you are trapped in an illusion. So finding money, getting a job, doing more exercise, although those things are important and you should not neglect your ego, there is something that is much more meaningful and powerful, and something that goes beyond this illusory ego. So of course, if you go to the kind of the most important thing in life, then I would say the spiritual journey that you're going to begin is going to be the most important thing that you can ever do. There's nothing else. There's nothing else to life. If you're living in an illusion, whatever happens in the illusion is irrelevant. It is insignificant. It will not change anything. The only way to truly change things on a deep level is to realize the fact that you're in an illusion. And yeah, each person will have to begin some way. There is no concrete path. There is no real way of doing it, but it's something that can occur instantly. It can occur right here, right now, and you will not find anything out there anything out there in delusion that will help you wake up. It is only possible through you and in the present moment, right here, right now. You can push it around and say, tomorrow I'll do it, in 2 weeks, or I need to learn more, or I need a guru. You know, technically these things will guide you and they will help you, but it is just a mental excuse that you're creating to, your ego is simply pushing it around and just trying to gain as much time as possible to live in an illusion, because it wants to be in an illusion.
So start now, start today. Let's go.
Start now, because there is only now.
Yes. Okay. I think, bro, we can wrap up the stream around that quote, start now. That would be
awesome, brother.
That would be a good
check. For sure, man. And I guess I'm sorry for everybody that wanted to hear more about, I don't know, Namaste or any other superficial things, but
I forgot about NFTs. NFT doesn't exist anymore. It's a construct.
I know. I was not even aware of it, but I just remembered, like, you know, we were supposed to kind of talk about those things, but
no.
Hopefully you guys will not even care about it and realize that there is something that is much more important in your life. But if you're still worried about Namaste or NFTs or Alpha or any of that bullshit, then we can probably do it another day.
Exactly. Man, like people join here to ask questions and like on YouTube chat a little bit, the couple of mention about NFTs, but everyone asks about something else than NFTs. So good job.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm happy. I'm happy for everybody, and I'm truly grateful for everybody that was able to listen to all my nonsense. And if this helped you in any way, then I am the most grateful person on earth.
Amazing. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so when the next Twitter space from your account, bro? When?
Let's see what day is today. I don't even know what day is today. Today's Friday.
Friday. Yes, it's Friday.
Okay. I mean, next week even. I could do it next week.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. We are scheduling it right now. I thought you had like a process when you want to schedule spaces and stuff. Okay. We're scheduling it right now.
I'll make space. I'll make space for you. Don't worry.
Nice. Not even for me. Like, just I want to join because I know that you have these spirituality spaces, and like I don't know if I miss them on the timeline or not, but I need to join.
We could do a Namaste radio next week, and then you can join and come as a host or come as whatever, because you would actually help me a lot, actually, because I always needed some sort of host, because I just begin answering questions and I have zero like format or organization when I do it, so it just gets super messy. So if you want to come in and we can do an Namaste radio, that would be a blessing.
Okay, bro, that's the deal, man. I will put your like a Namaste radio in order and clean the mess. Don't worry, I can do that.
Fuck yeah, brother.
Let's go. Thank you so much. I don't even want to talk about like the last question. Should I? No, we're gonna keep that space fresh. It's a special stream. It's not something that we have ever done before. That was fantastic. Thank you so much, Sensei. That was amazing. I hope everyone enjoyed it on the Twitter space. Thank you so much for coming here. And YouTube Live, thank you so much. Thank you, Orestes, for the YouTube fan subscription. It means a lot to me and to us on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to it because, it's irrelevant, but still a bit relevant for future minting. Follow Sensei. You have all of his link in the description of the stream. Thank you so much, buddy. Like, that was a real pleasure. We didn't even like follow any talking point that I had and prepare for. It didn't really matter. We organic conversation are the best.
Yeah, brother, we were flowing.
Yes, exactly.
That's the important.
We're flowing, man. We're flowing. And Pia's on me on Solana Breakpoint in November.
Oh yeah, I'll see you there for sure, and I'll see anybody that's going there. It will be my
Yes.
pleasure to meet you guys, to give you a big,
Yes.
big hug.
Yeah.
And yeah, bro, thank you so much. It's really been a pleasure for me.
Amazing.
And I hope I was able to help anybody. And if I haven't been able to, then
Next
come on
time.
my DMs and ask me any questions, and we can talk about it.
Yes. Yes. Because again, like your DM are open to everyone, right? Amazing.
Yeah, I do my best. I mean, it's definitely getting harder and harder every day.
Yeah.
So I'm not able to answer to all the DMs as much as I could before, but I do my best.
You have 100,000 subscribers, so I can imagine your DM a bit messy too.
Yeah, especially after Namaste, it all just got worse or better.
Both at the same time. See, I learned.
There we go. There we go.
Again, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone that came to the space and the show. And we will see you for the Namaste Radio and for the episode 2 on Solana Sensei on the channel. Thank you so much, everyone. And start today.
There we go.
Bye, everyone.
Start now.
Start now.
Thank you.
Yeah, not today, now. No.
There
Bye.